Welcome back, folks. Next up, we're gearing up for an epic showdown that you won't want to miss. Do you even know who I am? You want me to apologize? Holy cow, this is insane. Let's ditch the cowboy theatrics. Subtitles. What are you going to do about this? Upon hearing these words, Zhu Tiding remained unfazed and not angry at all, and even said a line that made people's hair stand on end. Holy cow. Di Karen Sisai SHN was stunned. His tough guy act went poof, and when he turned around, he was greeted by just a looming truck. All recognized that truck. It showed up at the motel. From that moment, they were officially on someone's radar. Worse still, the gas was running out, and they'd soon be caught. Paul felt fast to ditch the truck. He darted into a side road, and sure enough, the truck couldn't react in time and fell behind. But was that the end? They arrived at the gas station. Di Karen Sisai and SHN refueled while Paul called the police in the store. Di Karen Sisai and SHN spotted a truck pulling into the gas station, and out pops a bearded man, swaggering over to Paul while waving a hammer like it's a magic wand. Di Karen Sisai and SHN felt a chill. He was pretty sure this burly beard was the infamous Zhu Tiding, and tried to signal Paul to make a. Unfortunately, he couldn't even shout, resorting to charades, but luckily, Paul picked up on his frantic gestures. Upon looking, Paul was almost scared to the point of wetting his pants. After handing the guest card to the cashier, he had no time to waste, bolting for the car and flooring it. He quickly fled the scene, but before long, that burly dude was hot on their tail again. In a panic, Paul inadvertently drove straight into a dead end, and after a brief chase, they found themselves at a wreck site, waiting for fate to find them. They watched each other approach with bated breath, poised for action. But it turned out it was all a misunderstanding. Paul was so nervous he forgot the gas card, and the big guy was just trying to return it. But before they could catch their breath, that familiar truck came barreling back. The Zhu Tiding they had been eagerly awaiting finally arrived. Without having a second to think, the two individuals immediately jumped into the car and fled. After a thrilling chase, Paul executed a flawless drift and lost them. After all, Paul is still the king of cool. But just when they were celebrating their miraculous escape, oops, Paul zoned out and crashed into a tree, and suddenly his car was smoking like a barbecue. Meanwhile, the Zhu Tiding just now showed no intention of letting them go. Suddenly, the lights flashed on, blinding both of their eyes. Where have you been, Di Karen Sisai and SHN? Hard to apologize. You're driving me mad. Di Karen Sisai and SHN was shaking with frustration. I'm just a rookie. What's wrong with that? I'm just a total rookie. What's there to be embarrassed about? What a coward, just standing here watching it all unfold. Finally getting a word of apology, Zhu Tiding slowly backed away, fading into the night. The duo narrowly escaped, and by morning, they'd fixed the car and were back on the road. They were gearing up to find their dream girl, and this time, Di Karen Sisai and SHN was genuinely scared, tossing the router out the window without a second thought. He didn't want to hear another peep about Zhu Tiding or create any more deadly pranks. After a long journey, Paul finally laid eyes on his dream girl, Di Karen Sisai in M-Section I. The moment he saw her, all the struggle suddenly felt worth it. The journey was bumpy, but the finale was pure magic. The two packed their bags, ready to officially kick off their road trip, with Di Karen Sisai and SHN gaping in awe at how his buddy snagged such a gorgeous girl. They introduced themselves, but as they were leaving, Di Karen Sisai in M-Section, his buddy J Copyright and J Section arrived in a sports car. She showered them with good wishes, safe travels, and make sure my girl doesn't end up crying. Watch out, or it'll ruin your future. They waved goodbye and set off on their merry adventure. Night fell fast, and they hit up a motel. Paul got tipsy and crashed into bed without a second thought, while Di Karen Sisai and SHN sneaked into Di Karen Sisai in M-Section, his room to lay on the charm. Subtitles. Suddenly, the phone beside Paul's bed started ringing, and the voice on it gave him a sudden fright. He realized Zhu Tiding wasn't done. He was playing a twisted game of cat and mouse with them. Paul rushed to Di Karen Sisai in M-Section his room, yelling angrily, "I'm back. I told you so, you're definitely wearing a green hat. Your own brother is flirting with your girlfriend, can't you tell? But Paul had no time to ponder that, because the tiding was nearby lurking. Confused, the currents assigned M section I was lost, but after a quick summary of the situation, they hastily jumped in the car. They sped away from the motel, and on the way, Paul dropped the bomb about Sue tiding. That pervert was tailing them all the way. Unfortunately, just a bit down the road, they spotted a sign with Sue tiding's note. It instructed them to check their trunk. Paul's name was mentioned on another sign up ahead, so they reluctantly popped the trunk, which revealed the router D currency sign SHN had tossed out earlier.